This week, I dig Mad Max Fury Road. Here we are, back at the post-apocalypse. If you're anything like me, this movie was something that was sort of in the periphery of your vision for these past few months. I rolled my eyes when I heard about it. I thought, this is just another stupid reboot or a continuation, whatever the fuck it is. I'm not interested in just seeing this same old shit be, sharpened and given to us over and over again. I was wrong. I couldn't have been wronger. And you're wrong about what you think this movie is about. This movie is a beautiful vision of a post-apocalyptic world where everything's amplified. The violence, the rage, the despair, the starvation and thirst of the people living in it. Everything is amped up, but you get to live in it and experience it as... I guess you get to take in a fraction of how awful this world is for these characters. Now, one of my favorite... sorry about that. One of my favorite things in an action movie or an adventure movie like this is not knowing what's going to happen, not knowing anything about the lore, and sort of being shown that consequences are real. If a world and a story is unforgiving, I want proof of that. It makes the situations that much more dangerous, and action sequences are that much more amazing for you to watch, because you really don't know if the main character is going to die. And this movie is filled with amazing action sequences that will sort of drill into your head and just stay there. There's so much attention to detail put into this movie, and I think that's probably the greatest thing about it. You'll see a glimpse of something like, let's say, a steering wheel that people spent months or maybe years designing and making real. So many of the things in this movie are unnecessary. Just things that this movie could have worked and done very well without it. But you could tell that the costumes, everything from the makeup to the boils and blisters on someone's feet, everything was just designed so well. And it's showing you that there's a universe outside of the action of this story, and it's so much deeper than what you're seeing. And while you're watching this movie, remember that the trucks are real and the vehicles are real. All these buggies riding around with all these spikes and the guys swinging off of them, these things were created and they exist in real life. They were all designed by people. I know it sounds kind of goofy, but it's easy to get super absorbed into this movie and really feel like you're living in this universe. And I guess it's a sign that they did a really good job. Like, this is Lord of the Rings level attention to creating a new mythos. There are scenes in this film that are as viscous and intense and vibrant as an oil painting. It's super loud and quick, and the action scenes and the colors in this movie are so vibrant. You can taste and almost like smell this movie in moments. The fire, the heat, the sand, Furiosa's motor oil painting on her forehead, the spray paint on Nux's mouth and nose, the milk coming out of Zoe Kravitz's breasts. You feel so Tom Hardy's Max is a distant guy. He's very distant mentally, and he has a lot of issues. But this isn't just some corny thing where you see a character and they talk to him, oh, you're a strong silent type, huh? No. Everything in this movie is told through behavior and good acting. Through action, so much is told about these characters. Tom Hardy's Max, his behavior is congruent with the strong silent warrior trope. The way he talks and comes to make decisions shows that he's probably a good person, but he really has to fight to not try and preserve his life in the wasteland and not care about anyone else's. He's a kind of a complex moral code in here, but it makes him multifaceted. There's so much in this character even without him saying much. And Charlize Theron as Imperator Furiosa, she was probably my favorite character in the film as well. You can tell there's so much to her past that they're not telling you about, from like the arm that's cut off. Like, how did that happen? You can imagine that could have been a movie in itself. She's very similar to Max in the sense that she's also fucked up and doesn't say much, but again, she doesn't have to. You know what kind of person she is by what she's able to accomplish in a fight and how she behaves outside of a fight as well. And I also have to praise the depiction of women in this movie as well. I think it's really forward thinking, and I was pleased to see it. I think this is actually a very female centric movie. It's like you get the sense that Max is in their world. He's sort of tagging along on this journey that has nothing to do with him, and he's integral in the success of this mission. It's really all about women, and I guess with the exception of Nux as well. But really awesome that they could include this female centric main story while still keeping all these dark and super violent themes. I was blown away by this movie overall, and I will probably be watching it a few more times. The Mad Max franchise has been pulled out of the dust and presented to us like a bleached skull. I'm very excited to see what comes next out of this franchise.
The girl couldn't say Max like your wife, precious wife. That's what they mean in the motorcycle world. There's your